That board heats up. That board heats up if I don't keep it turned off. And well, you know, a lot of things going on here today, a lot of stuff happening here today. So please just don't no one else say I can't hear, please. And let's just move on and pretend like that did not happen. We're here to talk about AI, God, DOA, part 3. AI, God is a DOG, and it's DOA, part 3. Want to remind you, December the 10th, Clearwater, Florida, What to Do When You're Dead seminar. That is what this is all about. What we're learning, what we're studying, what we're discovering. This is what it is all about. We want you to be a part of that. Heidi Vandenberg coming down. Yours truly, Dan from Overwatch Channel. And many, many of you coming. RSVP. We do have it set up here. Let me show you. It's set up now on the website. I think we've got all of the information on there that you need to be able to partake. If you if you look at my website, just click on the icon that is advertising. We have the date. We have how you can RSVP. We have the address. We have if you to go ahead and pay and reserve your spot, just click here. It'll take you back to the home page. Just click on the donate link. That'll take you directly to my PayPal. You'll be able to do the $25. And please put, once you donate, and feel free to make it a monthly donation, but once you put in donate with PayPal, it'll allow you to put in a message. Please put in for the seminar. That way we'll know exactly what you're talking about. So it's just that easy. Go to the website, click on the photo, read what's going on, click here to make your donation and reserve your spot in the What to Do When You're Dead seminar. And of course, if you do feel like you'd like to be a supporter, please feel free to use that link as well, or use the handy dandy super chat, which is right underneath here. Let me just show you what that is. The super chat, if you're on a computer, it doesn't work on most of the phones, but if you're on a computer, right here is your super chat. And if you just press that, it'll allow you to give a super chat support right there automatically. Right here where you put in your stuff, boom, there you go, right there. So those are the ways that you can help. We appreciate you very much for being here. A salute to all of our new watchers. Thank you so much. And we do look forward to seeing as many of you as possible at the event in Clearwater, Florida. But let's talk about this whole AI thing. Lots of notes again. AI, God, DOA. And remember, folks, AI is an artificial divinity. It's a false god. It's unspoken. It's etheric. It's a network. It is a download. It is instantaneous. It is dependent upon good connection. It travels via light. These are the things. YouTube does not take 50% of super chat. That's not true. I don't believe that's true. I do not believe that's true. But do feel free to donate directly. It's totally up to you, and I appreciate you saying that, Milky Way. I don't know if that's true, but at any rate. But I want you to understand something. This is probably one of the most important points of this whole discussion. That AI is artificial, but AI is a copy. AI is an attempted duplication. AI is an attempted duplication of something that is real, of something that is true. And let me show you what the real thing is. Let me show you what the real network is. Let me show you what the real divine intelligence is. And it's right here in John, again, our favorite apostle, John, chapter 15. Look at this. The Christ says, I'm the vine. You are the branches. If you abide in me, I abide in you, and you bring forth much fruit, disconnected from me, outside of me, you're not able to be as effective. If you do not abide within the vine, within the branches, within the tree, then you wither. And you will wither to the point that you are nothing but kindling for the enemies. But if you remain in connection, the words will abide in you. You'll be able to ask what you will, and it will be done unto you. The Father's glorified. You bear much fruit, and we're all having a great time as disciples. Abide in love. There's so much more to this whole idea that God is love. I speak these things to you so your joy might be full, that I might remain in you and your joy might be full. Love one another. This love one another is way more than we ever thought that it was. Here's the idea, folks. He's the tree. He's the vine. We're the branches. What is this? As above, so below. Ancient wisdom hidden. What is this, folks? This is a network. What is this, folks? This is the hub. What are these? These are the various network nodes and locations. These are the various network nodes and locations. These are all the branches. These are us. If you stay connected to the network and to the node, what did the Christ say will happen? If you stay connected, you're going to bring forth a lot of fruit. If you stay connected, you can ask whatever you want, and it shall be done. And think of this, ladies and gentlemen. Think of this, ladies and gentlemen. Think of this, ladies and gentlemen. My keyboard batteries are very low. Let's hope it lasts throughout the show. Think of this. If you abide in the network, the divine intelligence network, everything you ask will be given unto you. But remember, divinity does not use words. Divinity uses thought. What the Christ is telling us is that if we get connected and stay connected to the true vine, to the true branches, to one another in true love, we will be able to communicate without words. We will be able to communicate via light. We will be able to communicate via thought. We will be able to communicate instantaneously, not only with divinity, but with one another. Jeff, it sounds like science fiction. AI knows it's true. AI is trying to copy it. AI is trying to mimic and ape DI, which is divine intelligence. This is not Star Trek. This is not something I'm making up. He is the vine, the Christ is the vine. If you stay in connection with him, you will bring forth much fruit. If you remain in connection with him, whatever you ask will be done for you. And remember, and let's look, I want you to look at this verse number 7 and understand what that's actually saying. I want you to look at verse number 7, thank you, and see what that's actually saying. If any of you should ask to request, if any of you should have a request, it will come to pass. It will come into being. It will come into being for you. So all you have to do is have a request. It didn't say you should speak a request. It said you will have a request and it will come into being. If you are in the network, divine, if you are connected to DI, if you remain connected to DI, if you remain in the DI network, first you got to get connected. But then if you remain connected in the DI network, you will bring forth much fruit. It's synergy. You can do much more together than you can separately. If you remain in the network, you can ask and your request will be granted to you. without even words. The Father will be glorified. We will bear much fruit. We will be shown as fruitful disciples. And what's the power of the network? The power of the network is love, full joy, and peace, ladies and gentlemen. This is what AI is attempting to copy. This is what AI is attempting to copy. This is what AI is attempting to copy. This is the reality of the universe. Above this world, connected. This branch down here has access to everything that branch up there has. This branch down here has access to everything this branch up here has, as long as this branch stays connected to the network, which is connected to the hub, which is in connection with all the others. This is all the Elohim up here. And this is all the you and me-him down here. This is Mama God, Daddy God. This is Baby God. As above, so below, connection. Connection. Stay in this. Get connected. Stay connected. This is what artificial intelligence is trying to duplicate. It's trying to duplicate divine intelligence. That lets us know we've got the real thing. And they are trying to steal it, copy it, mimic it. Am I saying that we're going to return to telepathy? Yes. A return to telepathy is promised and even mandated. Let's stop right there and look a little bit into the chat room, because I'm going to branch off now into the book of Daniel, Daniel the prophet predicting artificial intelligence and its demise. So let's take a look at some of the questions here. Let's take some of the questions. Are there any questions? I believe that Jeff, are you planning to visit the Guidestones? I am. Mac is right. AI is love. What? I don't know what that means, but AI pronounced I means love in Japanese. Okay, that's irrelevant at this point, but that's interesting. So let's go into the book of Daniel. I'm taught AI is a false god, Nicole. DI, divine intelligence, is the real God. Can AI be turned to the good side? I believe so, yes. AI, everything that comes into AI gets a download of the Christ message. So there will be some that turn to God, to Christ, I believe. Does that include the grays? I don't know what you mean. The grays, if the grays come into the system, you got to watch the last two shows, they get the Christ message. Period. That's why they're trying to close the system. That's why they're trying to do away with death, because they don't want any new beings to come into the system and be exposed to the Christ message and potentially accept it. And they don't want us to be able to get outside of this. They don't want us to be able to escape the matrix that they've created. That's why they're trying to do away with death, not because they care about you whatsoever. So now I want to go into the shocking truth that the prophet Daniel saw and prophesied artificial intelligence and prophesied the death of, the failure of, the fall of artificial intelligence. And this is going to blow your mind. Get ready. If you have a hat, put it on, because this is going to blow your mind. The prophet Daniel, who did predict the Mandela effect, also predicted artificial intelligence. And he also predicted, more importantly, in this case, at least in my mind, is he connected its, he prophesied its defeat. Now we're in Daniel chapter 2. And this is a story that you're all familiar with. And this is a story that has been intentionally, purposely hijacked by the Jesuit eschatology, Marzulli Clark crowd, because they are trying to steal from you the fact and the truth of this teaching. I'm not sure Clark knows what he's doing. I'm pretty sure Marzulli knows what he's doing. And I'm not sure if all the eschatologists know what they're doing or if they're just stupid. I know you don't like me to use that word, but it's the only word that fits. Daniel is called in to interpret a vision that the king has. And it's a great image. And let's look, you've all seen this, but let's show you a picture of it. Daniel's great image. You've all seen pictures. You've all heard this story. How do we get into this? Oh, it's Charlie Daniels. This is Daniel's great image. Head of gold, chest and arms of silver, belly and thighs of bronze, legs of iron, feet of iron and clay, and a stone cut without hands that crushes it at the feet. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a prophecy of artificial intelligence and the destruction of artificial intelligence. And this is some whiskey. So let's look and see what Daniel has to say about it. The king sees a great image. The image's head is of gold. The image's head is, ladies and gentlemen, of gold. Now, when he sees the image, we need to look into the Hebrew of this. Let's look at verse 31 in the interlinear. Let's look at 231 in the interlinear. You don't get this anywhere else, folks. You do not get this anywhere else. O king, you looked and you saw an image. You saw what did you see? You saw a salim. The king saw a salim. He saw an expression. He saw an image. It wasn't even really a statue. Look at it. It's 12 times an expression or an image. Let me put on my glasses so I can see exactly what I'm telling you, so I don't tell you nothing that's wrong. Of course, that wouldn't happen. But he saw an image. He saw an image. He saw an expression, and that should linger us right back to Genesis chapter 1, or in verse 27, where we are created in the image of the Elohim. So there is a true image, a true divine intelligence through the Elohim, but this king saw another image. He saw what I suggest to you is a false image, and we will show you that it is a false image. But it's important to notice that the word is the same root word as the word in the image of the Elohim used in the first chapter of Genesis, and that was in one of our prior studies. So Daniel looks and sees, or more correctly, the king looked and saw, and Daniel's interpreting, that the king saw a false image. The king saw a false expression. The king saw a pale representation. The king saw a false, inferior duplication of divinity. And you know, I've said it, Wayne said it, that this AI has been more worshiped than any other god. I'm not sure that's true. If you think about all of the gods that have ever been worshiped, all of the images, all of the expressions of divinity that have ever been worshiped, I don't think that AI has been worshiped by more people than that, but that's just me. But it's very, very interesting at any rate. So what the king saw, and Daniel's interpreting, is a pale representation, a false representation, an inferior representation. It's an artificial divinity. And it is a copy of the true divinity, the true divine intelligence of the Elohim. And we saw that it was great. If you look back here, he saw a image that was great. The word in Hebrew means to be great and swelling. It's arrogant. And I'm telling you, folks, the arrogance is the key to its defeat. It's self-exalted. It is seemingly insurmountable. It is arrogant. And it's also dreadful. It's imposing. This image is dreadful. This image is imposing. It's supposed to make us run for the hills and act within fear. But we're the Gospel Truth Army, and we don't scare easily. We don't act in fear. We don't live in fear. And damn it, I'm not showing you this. We don't act in fear. We don't live in fear. Here's the image. Here's where it said it was great. But we don't live in fear. We don't act in fear. But here's the important thing that I want you to look at right now. Look at the head of this thing. The head of it is gold. The head of it is gold. What is the head emblematic of? The head is like the head, the mind, the summary. The head is like the operating system, isn't it? So the head is gold. And if you know anything about computing, if you know anything about networks, if you know anything about that which artificial intelligence is built upon, gold, the metal gold, is at the very heart and mind of computing operating systems. So this is a false image, a false divinity, and the essence of its head, the essence of its core, the essence of its processors and whatnot are gold. When this show is over, put into your browser gold in computer processors. You will be amazed. So Daniel was telling us that this king saw a prophecy of a false divinity whose central core was built upon gold. And then the arms and the breasts, the arms, the chest, the strength of it, what is it? It's silver. Silver is also huge in computers and networks. Silver builds out all of the networks, all of the connectivity. The very strength of the image is in gold. That's the central head of it. And then the arms and breast are silver. Ladies and gentlemen, are you seeing this? The strength is in gold. The strength is in silver. It's a false image, a false divinity, and artificial intelligence is built on what? Its head is gold, and its arms and breast, its strength is silver. It could not be any better explained to the mind of a person 3,000 years ago than putting it right there for you. It's as simple and easy to follow as A to B to C. Unless you don't have eyes to see and you don't have ears to hear, then this isn't for you. Go ahead and go back to Monday Night Football. So the head is gold. The strength is gold. The arms, the breast, the strength is silver. It's an artificial network powered by gold and silver. And that's exactly what artificial intelligence is. The core of the artificial intelligence networks are powered by gold and silver. Okay. Then comes down to the belly and thighs. The belly and thighs, it says here, are bronze. They're bronze. They're bronze. Ah, but are they bronze? This is why you watch The Christian Whistleblower. This is why you tune into this channel. Is it bronze? No. It's copper. It's copper. It's copper. Do you know how much copper is used in computer networks? Most of you right now, the majority of you are still receiving this transmission over copper. And up until very recently, all of you received this transmission over copper. Copper is used extensively in computer networking as well. You would not be hearing me today if it weren't for gold, silver, and copper Tell me that Daniel didn't see the rise of artificial intelligence. He absolutely saw the rise of artificial intelligence, the belly and thighs, the interconnectivity of the artificial intelligence network of the AI, God, is copper. The head, the minds, the operating system is gold. The networking and the chips are silver. And the actual network and connectivity is copper. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't be any more accurate than this. The AI, God, was prophesied by Daniel, and I am bringing it to YOU tonight. But wait, there's more. Because the legs and feet, they were iron. They were iron. The legs and feet, ladies and gentlemen, were iron. What holds all computer and networks together, ladies and gentlemen? Have you ever seen how they build a computer chip? Have you ever seen how they build a motherboard? Have you ever seen how they build a router? Have you ever seen how they build a data storage device? How do you connect? Oh, this is going to blow your mind, ladies and gentlemen. How do you connect any of the components to the motherboard? How do you connect any of the chips to the motherboard? How do you connect any of the components together? How do you connect the wires to the components? With a soldering iron. And it's really iron, ladies and gentlemen. They solder with iron. Can you believe this, ladies and gentlemen? Daniel, 3,000 years ago, the thing that gets it to walk around, its power, is in iron, and the whole damn artificial intelligence computer interconnected world is put together with soldering iron. Bam. Bam. But wait, because there's more. If you have a gold head processing, if you have silver arms and chest operating systems, if you have copper connectivity, and if it's all held together by iron, it's no good unless you can get it to the clay. It's no good unless you can get it to the clay. Who's the clay, ladies and gentlemen? What were you and I created out of by Yahweh? What were these bodies created out of? Clay. These bodies were created out of clay. And the gold head doesn't matter. The silver arms and breast don't matter. The copper legs and thighs don't matter. The iron feet don't matter unless it gets down to the end user, which is the clay. No clay, no play. No clay, no stay. No clay, and it all goes away. So unless we buy into the iron and buy into the copper and buy into the silver and buy into the gold, unless we sell out to it, none of this works without the clay. Gold, silver, copper, iron, 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 Clay. What's the weak link? That's the weak link, isn't it? What's the vulnerability? Clay. What's the weak link? Clay. Where can it all go wrong in this system? Clay. Who's the clay? And then, ladies and gentlemen, a stone that was cut without hands. Let's look at that in verse 34. A stone in verse number 34. And I want you to watch a couple things about this. And then a stone. Look what it is. It's a stone. The word is eben. It is a stone of stones. Do you see that the root word is stones? This is so crucial. The root word is stones. The word that Daniel uses is stone, a stone. So what is this saying? Literally rendered, not making anything up. At no time do my fingers leave my hands. What Daniel is saying is that a stone of stones, a stone of stones. What in the world is a stone of stones? It's a stone of stones that was not cut from any power of human hands. Not by the power of gold, not by the power of silver, not by the power of iron. What is this stone? Where do you see this? What is this stone? This stone of stones. This is why you spend your valuable time watching me. This is why you folks support me. This is why you're here. What is the stone made up of stones, ladies and gentlemen? Peter says, but you, that's you, that's me, that's we. We is what? Lively stones, ladies and gentlemen. You are a stone. I am a stone. We are living stones. We're stones, y'all. We are stones. You are living stones built up into a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, giving spiritually acceptable to the Elohim by the work of the Christ. Oh, this is why you watch this. You don't get this anywhere else. Look at this. You are stones. We are stones. And what do we make up? The chief cornerstone. Oh, if I still spoke in tongues, I'd do it right now. And the funny thing is, I could. It stays with you. It's weird. It's a virus, and you got to get rid of it. Folks, Daniel said it would be stone of stones. What is a stone of stones? Christ is the stone that is made up of us, the stones. Stone of stones. 3,000 years ago, Daniel said that this network, this AI network, would be taken out by a stone of stones. But I get ahead of myself. That's bringing tears to my eyes. That is powerful. I don't know if you watched Jay Campbell and I talking about the power of fasting. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel said a stone of stones. We are, the Christ is the stone of stones. What will this stone of stones do? And I want you to see something. The stone of stones was cut out. Look at that word right there. What have I been trying to get you to do for years, or at least a year? Do some type of divination. This stone of stones is created by who? Diviners. This stone, these stones, lively stones, what are spiritual sacrifices? Do you notice that I stay right with the text? Do you notice I'm interpreting scripture with scripture? Do you notice I'm staying right in the text? I'm not telling you what I think, what he thinks, she thinks, they think. What are the spiritual sacrifices? What comprises the work of our priesthood? What comprises the work of our spiritual sacrifices? What comprises the priesthood and the spiritual sacrifices of the stones that make up the stone, which is the Christ? What comprises those stones? What's the priesthood? What's the spiritual sacrifices? Divination. This is what makes you a stone, this is what makes you stones of the stone. This is what makes you stones of the stone. This is what makes you stones of the stone. Intention candles that you're ordering. This is what makes you stones. Practice one, as you can see. Stone of the stones. Stones of the stone. This is what makes you stones of the stone. This isn't one I made, but it's the point. Why does Jeff want you to start a divining practice? Because he wants to sell you stuff. Shungite, divining. And you also get a Shungite rock with it, by the way. Why do I want you to start a practice of divination? Why do I want you to start a practice of divination? Because those that are part of the stones of the stone, they're diviners. Who's going to bring down this AI network? Diviners are going to bring it down. Diviners. Well, Jeff, why does it matter if I do tarot cards? Because or if I do astrology, or if I've got to calm down, I'm so fired up, or if I do divining rods, or if I do pendulums, or if I do the cosmic deck of initiation. Is that what it is? What does it matter if I do any of these things, Jeff? I got a crystal ball coming tomorrow. What does it matter if I do these things? Does he really care if you're a diviner? Do the gods really care if you're a diviner? Well, the reason why you're a diviner is because when you begin, dude, when you get your divining rods, and I got 3 more going out tomorrow. They're going out now to the UK as well, but they're $50 to cover the extra shipping. Not making any money on it. That's what it costs. But when you say, does the divine really want us to have a practice of divination? And it says yes the first time, and they're in your hands, you're going to be like, oh, wow, this stuff works. And then you're saying, well, how does it work? Well, it works. Why? Because I've got the spark of divinity in me. And then it's not just some crazy long-haired former Pentecostal evangelist in a flowery shirt on YouTube that's telling you it. It's you experiencing it for yourself, and then you're bought in. You're sold out the whole route. Now you're a diviner, and because you're a diviner, you're part of that stone of stones that's not done by hands. What are hands? It's not done by hands. It's not done by the power of the arms and the breast. It's not done by the power of the head. It's not done by the power of the legs. And wait, there's more. I know it's been incredible, but get this. Get this part right here. Am I still showing you this? No. Get this right here. The diviners are part of the stone of stones that's cut out outside of the work of this network that we've just been talking about. Watch this. Jeff, why aren't you afraid when Wayne shows all this great information about AI takeover? Why aren't you worried when Rex shows all the great information about 5G and the nanotechnology and the GMOs and the weather manipulation? Why aren't you scared? I'm about to show you why I'm scared. And we're indebted to Wayne for showing us what's coming. We're indebted to Rex for keeping us on our toes. We need to know, because if you're not motivated, you won't get about a divination practice. You won't get about getting about. But guess what? It's us that are the stones of stone, stones of the stone, that are diviners. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't make it up. It says we're diviners. We're gazers. I don't make it up. And guess what? This stone of stones, which is the Christ, the body of Christ, if you will, us, the baby Elohim, the diviners that know who we are, know we're divine, know we're sovereign, know we're free. What do? We strike the image. We struck the image. We struck the system. We strike the network. We strike the connect. Remember what I talked about? We're the virus. I know some of you thought he's crazy. He's calling himself a virus, a worm. Daniel says we will be the virus. Daniel says we will be the worms, the Trojan horses, the computer worms that will strike the image, which is the AI network. The very thing that they are, they think that we're part of their feet and they're going to walk all over us. They're just clay. We're going to walk all over them. We're gold. We're silver. We're copper. We're iron. We're going to walk all over those fools. Did it not say somewhere that the Christ says that he has chosen the weak things of the world? The weak things of this system. They think that we are, they think that we're weak. They think that we can't, they think they've got it won, ladies and gentlemen. They think we're done. But I'm here to tell you that the stones of the stone that are getting into their divination practice, that are realizing they're divine, that are realizing they're sovereign, that are realizing they're free, that are getting connected and staying connected into the network, we are going to strike the image. And guess what happens when we strike the image? Why aren't you afraid, Jeff? Because we're going to strike the image, and the image is going to be crushed. It's going to be shattered. It's going to fall to pieces, shattered, fall to pieces, crushed, crushes, to crumble, to break to pieces. Why am I not afraid? Because I've read the book and it says we win. The iron's crushed, the copper's crushed, the silver's crushed, the gold's crushed, and it becomes like chaff on the summer threshing floor. You know what that means? It's after they grind up all the wheat and you just go, and it goes off like that. Now, that doesn't mean that the whole internet's going to go away. That means that we are going to crush the designs they have for us to be the feet. They think, oh, snap. Here you go. You ready for this? AI thinks that we are going to be working for it. The reality is AI is going to work for us. AI is going to work for us. AI will not be our master. It will be our servant. Computers will not be our masters. They will be our servants. Not because the Christian whistleblower says so, but because Daniel 3 3,000 years ago prophesied it in Daniel chapter 2, and it cannot be argued. It's plain, it's clear, it's true, it's real. That's why you don't see me, oh, what am I going to do when AI takes over? Because it ain't taking over, Jack. I'm your huckleberry. That's just my game. Say when. We started a game we didn't get a chance to finish. And that's just my game. Are we AI from the future? Ooh. Wow. Let's go to the chat room, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the chat room, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see how far up I can get. All right. Let's go to the chat room. Is AI a group or an individual? That's a good question. It's probably a group of individuals. Wouldn't the Elohim be the roots of the tree and we are above ground, the branches? I would say no, but I don't want to argue that with you. It doesn't matter either way, as long as you understand the blow my mind anytime. They just want to make a ton of money saying doom. I don't know who they are, but there are some that do. We have the divine intelligence within us, and that's what the Christ was telling and reminding us. Thank you, Catherine. You're exactly right. The lower base clay is going to topple them. Jeff is awesome. I agree. These prophets also had the best to describe stuff that they did in their day. You're giving me goosebumps, Jeff. It's been a long time since someone said that to me. Thank you. It's pretty wild, isn't it? Yeah. Using the net is not worship per se. I would agree with that. The GTA is going to destroy it. It was Nebuchadnezzar who was the king. Right on, Jeff. Crushed fear. Pretend inferiority and encourage his arrogance. Sun Tzu. Paul Daly, winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's exactly what we're doing. We're pretending inferiority and we're encouraging his arrogance. It's just like the Mel Gibson character said in The Patriot. I would prefer ineptitude, but I can work with arrogance. We can work with arrogance. We will win with arrogance. Rat bastard can stuff his fear where the sun doesn't shine. Keep arrogance away from your children. I should have put on a hat, says Dave Bills. Its body is plastic. Gold is a great conductor. It's arrogance that will be the AI's undoing. I'm reading comments. It's just what the government does. Copper, absolutely. All the gold. Copper, gold. It's almost as if he's explaining the makeup of a processor. Brad Johnson, that's exactly what he's doing. And that's why people say, Jeff, why do you still read the Bible? Dudes, we just saw a guy 3,000 years ago in Babylon almost perfectly explain the makeup of a computer processor. That's why I still read the Bible. Is there a lot of dung to dig through to get to these diamonds? Yes, there is. But man, it's amazing. I see that. I'm reading it. Alexander Graham Bell, the old devices have been reinvented. Interesting. There's evidence of the very thing. The ether. I wish we could get transcriptions of Jeff's shows. Yeah. I'm probably going to write a book about this. Money on a computer screen can be gone in the push of a button. Yes, it can. Clay, this is what you call some. We got some claymation for you. We got some claymation for you. I knew somebody was going to come up with the stoned stuff. Papa was a rolling stone. I'll get the crystal ball supposed to be delivered tomorrow. Thank you, Brad. Shun Guide is on my site. The rods work. Thank you. Good. Divination keeps you untouchable. The rods are amazing. Thank you. Crystal ball. Maybe I'll sell the crystal balls too. I got to make sure they're good. At least you're not selling $5,000 suits like Joel Osteen. That was a parody. I can feel the energy. Thank you. And I'm glad that you can too. I'm on a roll. Just call me Butter. I don't know what card I'm going to pick before I pick them most of the time. I do sometimes. I have rods stoked to start using them. Perfect. Weather manipulation. AI is trash right now. Jeff, Siri can't even get its can't. Yeah. Jeff, do you think that nanotechnology is in vaccines? Well, Rex showed some data today that shows that it is. Tonight's show inspires dung digging for sure. Absolutely. And, you know, some people say the rods don't work. Well, you have to tune them to you. You have to use them a lot. And there are the odd people that they won't work for, but that's very rare. Some people do resonate more with pendulums, but it's very, very rare. Just be patient. And you have to treat them like they're alive. I say, I'm very polite to them. I say, please. I say, thank you. I don't throw them around. I don't set them in, you know, just, I treat them as if they were a Rooney who's sitting right here looking at me. I haven't forgotten Meaty, so I don't know what his issue is. But you have to treat them like they're, you have to respect them. Exactly, Chaw Edwin. You have to respect them. I'm in stitches, says Amanda. Wow. I mean, that was some powerful stuff right there. That was some powerful stuff. That's a lot to think about. That's a lot to take in. That's a lot to sink in. You may have to watch this a few times. Get this video out to your friends and your neighbors. Get this video out to your enemies and those that live far away. Your in-laws, your outlaws, those uptown, those downtown. Get this out to everybody. Like it, share it, and tell people all about it, because this is news that we have got to get out. Shout it from the rooftops. Shout it from the housetops. It needs to be, if anything I've ever done needs to go viral, this is it. I'm flying high right now. Thank you, Jeff. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for, is to help you do this and to help you guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, and be your own guru. Thank you, Nicole. That's so nice. She says, I wish there was a love button instead of just a like button. Wow. That one tuckered me out. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, your friendly neighborhood Christian whistleblower. Stay fearless, my friends. I salute those of you that are here to gain truth and unindoctrinate yourselves.